So it's focaccia time, and I show you how to make a focaccia. Very high hydration, so use a kneading technique that I show you in this recipe and follow it, and you'll have the most beautiful homemade focaccia bread. And I just used the ingredients that I got from Tesco's. Nothing too fancy, nothing too weird, just very strong white flour. And I found that they had an instant yeast from Italy, so I just gave that a whirl, and it came out beautifully. So follow the recipe, enjoy it. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and it'll encourage me to do more videos. Okay, bye. Okay, the first thing you need to do is measure out 375 ml of water. Heat that in the microwave for 40 seconds. That should get it up to 37 degrees temperature. Add 7 grams or one of those sachets of instant dried yeast. I got the Italian stuff from Tesco, Il Mulino. And add 3 tablespoons of good quality virgin olive oil. 3, there we go. 2 teaspoons of sugar and 500 grams of very strong white flour. I know it says rye flour on the packet, but that's only to transfer it from the main bulk packet I've got. And a heaped teaspoon of salt. So it's about 11 grams of salt basically, but 1 heaped teaspoon should be enough. Get some olive oil on your hands, stop it all the mix sticking too much, and mix it in, and that should be lovely and warm. Yeah, lovely and warm. Mix it in, get all that flour off the side of the bowl, throw it onto the table once it's ready, onto the work surface. So with this kneading, it's 75% hydration, which is quite high, basically. If you know what I'm talking about. The hydration level of the amount of water that there is in reference to the amount of flour that there is 75%, which is really high. Usually with a loaf of bread, you're looking at about 65%. And it's much easier to work with when it's a lower hydration. But this is 75%, very high. So what I do is I mix in, make sure that the basic gluten starts to form. Mix it in very, very basically by just spinning it around the table, pushing it with my hand like this. And then in a moment, after about a minute and a half of this basic kneading, I will pick it up, and as you pick it up, you stretch the gluten and then you fold it over itself in a sort of roll. You'll see me doing it and you'll know what I'm doing. It'll make sense, okay? So it's what they do, French bakers do to make baguettes, and obviously, so look, you pick it up, slap it down with the tail, and then fold the top over itself. It's really easy once you get it. And that is the best way to form gluten at high hydration. It maximizes the kneading, basically. So do this for about 8 minutes. Then you'll have a beautiful, strong a dough with a very strong gluten in it, able to support and also able for the yeast to grow and form gas without it all dying and flopping when you bake it. So you're looking at about 8 minutes of this. You can see it's gone lovely and silky now. In a moment I'll do the window pane technique where I stretch it, just so we can see how gluten is perfectly formed. I'm just leaving it on so you can see what I do. As you can see, bits of dough do fly around the room, so be careful. And if it just, there you go, window pane effect. So that's absolutely perfect. Now I'll stick it back into the main bowl. Cover the main bowl with olive oil because it's high hydration. It's incredibly sticky, that dough. So cover the bowl in olive oil, stick it in, and then just leave it for however long it takes to sort of double in size. You're looking at about an hour, basically. Cover it with a very wet towel. Use hot water from the tap, nice warm wet towel. Leave that to ferment now. Meanwhile, I confit some garlic, so I'm just going to show you. Cut the bottoms off the garlic, so pull them out, cut the bottoms off, leave the skin on, but just cut the very base of it off. Stick it in some olive oil and slow roast it up to its ears in olive oil for about an hour. about 75 degrees for about an hour. That's perfect. Also, we'll be using that olive oil to drizzle all over the loaf at the end, because it's basically garlic infused olive oil. It's you cannot let that go to waste. It's so fit. Line your baking tray with olive oil and a load of semolina to stop it sticking to the base of the tray. Get it round the edges as well. I didn't do it on this time. I had to cut my way out. I'll show you later on, but if you can, get oil round it. And so that's that's proved now for an hour, that dough. Double in size, absolutely full of gas, you can see. Knock it all down, and then just transfer it from the bowl to the baking tray and stretch it in all four corners so that it fills the baking tray, because we're gonna prove it now inside the baking tray, okay, twice. So make sure it's try and make sure it's even all over, nice even size, and it'll just keep swelling in that baking tray and become a lovely thick focaccia. There we go. Keep pulling it out in the corners. Basically over pull it at the corners and the edges so that it fits perfectly. Yeah, you sort of pull it further than the distance of the corner, and then when it stretches back, it'll just fit in. Okay, that looks perfect. Cover it again with a wet towel, but cover the baking tray with a wooden spoon, because the wet towel will sink and go all over the focaccia, and when you prove it, it'll stick to it, and it's an absolute bloody nightmare is what it is. So there we go. That'll keep it nice and lifted in the middle, and set that aside for an hour. As you can see now, it's swelled well up inside that baking tray. Wet your fingers and put all those characteristic dimples. That's to catch all the olive oil and whatnot that you're going to put in. Yeah, make a load of dimples in it. Obviously it'll knock hair out, but that's perfect, because this will prove again now for another hour. So do this, let it prove again for another hour. I think it was about 40 minutes actually, it was enough. 40 minutes I proved after this. So just get all them dimples, go over it twice if you need to accentuate them, which I did. Oh, it's like playing the piano, isn't it? So, and just set that aside. Be careful what you put on top of it now, because it swells up and it's very sticky. So this is after another 40 minutes. It's swollen again. More dimples. And then I start putting the confit garlic on top and some salt. There we go. So you just basically pop it out the skin, and just stick them all over the top. You could use just raw garlic if you want to just peel that. I thought it'd be some sort of fancy dude. There we go. Lovely and wobbly now. That's had another sort of 20-30 minutes to swell up with all that garlic on top. Now I'm going to put the salt on top. I've got that grey clay salt. Selmarin is amazing. You get those great big salt crystals you can just put all over, and it looks well fancy afterwards. Tons of olive oil on top. Preheat the oven to 230 degrees and shove it in for about 20 minutes, and voila, there we go. And now drizzle that confit garlic oil all over the top, absolutely tons. You can see the little flecks of Selma in there as well, make it look absolutely stunning. Like I said, because I didn't put semolina around all the edges, I had to cut it out, but it's no bother. Just run a knife around the edge, because the bottom won't be stuck to the pan, thank goodness, because covered in semolina and olive oil. So there we go. That's after 20 minutes baking. Pull it out, put it on a wire rack to cool underneath, doesn't get all soggy and moist. And after about 30 minutes of cooling, you're ready to go. Cut it open. Oh my giddy aunt, look at that. It's so fit. And I had it with the carbonara, which I'm going to give you a masterclass on the video. Hopefully when this goes up, there'll be a link to that. So go and cook the carbonara and dip that focaccia into your carbonara. There you go. That's how you do it. Absolutely, innit? It's a cakewalk. It's easy. No problem at all. Don't worry. All you need is a baking tray and a strange slap and fold knead technique. Okay, that's it. Take care, stay safe, enjoy baking, subscribe to my channel. It will encourage me to make more and more simplified, wonderful recipes. Okay, bye bye.